welcome to BlackOut Gaming TV. The season is over, the games are finished, which means all that is left is for us to wrap it up here, talk about the season that has passed, and give out some well-deserved awards to the players and the casters. And I'm CeeJaey, I'll be representing Strong Opinions, and I'll be hosting, and joining me will be some of the best and brightest from European Highlander, maybe, not sure. Co-host for me tonight will be Panda's very own Hildreth. Also from Chess Club will be Quintosh. From The Experiment will be JoeN, big demo man. From Wasp will be Klefsas. And from Fair Enough, who seems to have left the mumble, he'll be back soon, is Skyro. And of course, in the background will be John. He's doing all of the camera work, all of the production, sorting it all out for us, and providing us with the results. So I'm going to pass you over to Hildreth, who's going to give us a little recap of some of the stuff that's happened this season. Take us away, Hildog.
Oh yes, we've had a fabulous season. Well, maybe not me personally, but it has been a good season, very competitive. We had a good final. Just to recap the results for those who don't know it, starting with the top, we had a 14 playoff this season. Tourette's Chess Club won the regular season, 40-point tally for them. Strong Opinions came second. Us, Panda, we came third. And The Experiment just about managed to pip Fair Enough to that fourth spot. And then they got a playoff against Panda. We managed to win at 2 maps. It was fairly competitive. Experiment did okay, but we managed to take that 2 maps to 0. And then the next playoff game, more or less the same story. Strong Opinions versus Panda. 2 maps to 0 again to Strong Opinions. And then we had the final, the big one, the grand final, Chess Club versus Strong Opinions. CeeJaey, you guys being the big underdogs, came into that one. And I think you lost a lot of people some skins. And
damn straight.
Some 60 keys unusual, maybe?
Yeah, 69 keys or something like that, wasn't it crazy? Yeah, we had like 20% odds, I think.
And you guys managed to come back from map down on Steel and take Viaduct and Badwater. Commiserations, Quintosh, unfortunate last map with a lot of problems, some internet problems with some of your players. But that does mean Strong Opinions are our champions. First title for you guys, second place for Chess Club, third for us again. On the rest of the league, down at the bottom, it was all tight at the bottom as well. We've got Fair Enough came 5th place. Disappointing season, I guess. Who knows? 6th place Wasp. I think that's the second season of 6th place finish.
We was on 5th, I think.
Oh, 5th place last year, then 6th. 7th place Stacked, who got into the relegation playoff. Unpoppable came 8th last. Relegated straight away, unfortunately for them. So then we had the relegation playoff between Stacked and was it TC Ambition?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, TC Ambition, and to a lot of people's surprise, TC Ambition managed to pull it off and they got promoted. CeeJaey, what else happened in High?
In High, so High obviously being in its second season, essentially, because before we used to have Division 1 and 2. And so we're having this kind of second season of having 4 teams in the playoffs. We had 4 teams, there were 2 TC teams, which basically guaranteed us a TC team in the final. And obviously that's led up to us having a TC team for the first time in the Premiership Division. I think the highest TC team before was TC Crash back in Div 1. So yeah, the Bureau finished first. They played against 4th place UKIP. UKIP were the team that finished bottom back in Season 8 of Prem. Didn't win a single point, but with a bit of a changed roster. They've tried to come back in. They finished 4th, but lost out to the Bureau in the semi-finals. 2 CT teams came against each other in the semis. Ambition beating Express, and like you mentioned, the Bureau played against Ambition in the final, winning out, meaning the Bureau got the automatic spot from High, and Ambition went into the relegation playoff against Stacked. And of course they went on to win that, so they've replaced. There were some other teams. Fresh Treble was a team that was highly favoured at that, had well-known names like Jackie Legs and Cherry Rendezvous. And we've got a couple of other teams, maybe slightly lower than expected. Danger Gummy Bears finished bottom. They were kind of a team that was favoured. That played in the preseason playoffs, as well as Lotus Munching Angels. LMA finishing in 7th, so 6 points off playoffs, wasn't too bad. But Danger Gummy Bears unfortunately finished bottom of High. So things kind of went downhill from them from the preseason playoffs onward. So yeah, I mean, High looked okay. Only 16 teams, but I'm guessing a lot of those teams are going to be trying for the preseason playoffs come the start of season 10. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, I mean, looking at Prem, Hildreth, you covered it all. It's been pretty decent for some teams and not so decent for others. We had two new teams, ourselves and the Experiment in our first seasons, Unpoppable in their second, unfortunately getting relegated and stacked after, must be 4 seasons now they've played in Prem, getting relegated, but I'm sure Beep and his crew will be trying to get back into Prem in the preseason playoffs. But Hildreth, we're going to go over, you're going to be asking some questions now, I believe.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of a wrap up. I've got a few questions for some of the people here. Just, I've got to start with you, CeeJaey. You've managed to earn yourself the crown in Highlander. If I had a crown, I would pass you right now.
Thank you.
So, just first of all, ETF2L Premiership Champion. How does that feel?
Yeah, I mean, obviously as a team, we're delighted. It's nice, like as a personal milestone, but as a team, it's really nice because I think it's kind of justified the work, the practice that we put in. Sort of at the start of the season, we kind of really had a solid roster, but when you look back the last season, we had so many issues with leadership and people leaving and not wanting to play classes anymore that we kind of had to piece together a roster at the start of the season. But it's just gone on up and up from there. So yeah, we're really happy with that.
Well, marvellous. I'll tell you what, the final, it's one of the best finals I've seen in recent seasons. I've been playing in all the other ones, but the first map, Steel, you looked at odds, like Chess Club were outplaying you on that map. It was quite clear to me to see. And then you just turned it around. You didn't drop a single round until you won. I mean, the rounds were quite close, but yeah, just how did you turn it around? That's what I want to know.
Like the key was always going to be the maps, and I think it was you or somebody else that said that. The key to the playoffs is maps, and if you're strong on maps, then obviously you're going to be playing strongly on your maps, and you've got to try and play strongly on theirs. We didn't actually decide the map picks until 2 days before, but we were always expecting that if we didn't ban Steel, that Chess would be picking it. So we practiced it a lot. We tried to make sure we had strats. We did play Chess in the regular season, and we got beaten them quite comfortably. So we kind of looked at that. What did we do wrong? What could we improve from? And we did practice it a lot, and obviously we picked up a round against them. And to be fair, I just think it was us it was just Chess warming up. They're really, really good at the map. And once they kind of settled down into the flow of the map, the next 2 rounds, our strats just weren't working. And I think the key for us was I'm the guy in Mumble who has to say to everyone, just calm down, just focus. It's 1 map out of 3. To use a cliche, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And we were comfortable on every other map that could have been picked. So we practiced Steel a lot. We didn't actually practice Product very much because we knew how strong we were on it, even though we knew Chess were really strong on it. So yeah, I mean, coming into it, we were confident, and I just had to say to the guys, look, it's fine. It's their map pick. We got to round off, the best team in Europe on a map that they're really strong on. So that should give us some confidence going into next 2 maps. And yeah, once we started getting into our rhythm, it just kind of all fell into place.
Marvelous. Well, that's a good answer. I'll give you that. So, what was the key for your team this season? Who was the big man that stood out? Was there anything particular you guys did?
I think the key was that we didn't have one main man, like you say. Something Seal said at the start of the season. that we kind of, last season we had, a few really good players on certain classes, but coming into this season, we felt that we had, carries on so many different classes. We have so many different players that can just turn it on. Like, in the final, Cloudy just went huge. And he's always, really solid, but he just kind of went to a next level in the final. And there's so many players that we have that can do that. And I don't see us having a weakness. And we all get on really well. I think it's really good to have a good atmosphere in your team. I think that's something we fixed from last season. There was a lot of negativity. So, we've put together 9 people who we've practiced a lot together. We enjoy each other's company, So if you enjoy playing with people, it kind of helps everything, especially if you're in a bad position. At the start of the season, we kind of, I suppose, got a little bit arrogant because we thought we were invincible because we didn't lose a game for ages. And first game we actually lost was the map against your guys on Process in the official, and we didn't lose a scrim until sort of a week later when we played against you on a warm-up. But we still thought we could beat anyone and everyone, and it wasn't until we got trashed by Chess on Steel we kind of had a bit of a falling apart, that we just had to say, look, we learn from these mistakes. And that was kind of like our way of waking up and realizing that, no, we can't be everyone. We actually have to, keep a level head, not get too excited, but not go on tilt at the same time. And I think the fact that nobody did that throughout the rest of the season just worked out for us.
Well, so you're talking about having 9 players who really get on. Does that mean you're going to stay together next season?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've been, I think it was pretty much settled already halfway through the season. We were saying whatever happens, like, we've had a really fun season, whether we finished, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, whatever happened, like, we've enjoyed ourselves. Winning was the icing on the cake, but we've had fun. And we were talking about, UGC, we're playing UGC together this season. Obviously, Sixes gets in the way, so we're giving our subs some game time. But then, we've been talking about Season 10 and Deutschland. Hopefully that is going to happen again this year. And we've already been sort of in discussions about trying to get as many of us out there as possible if it does happen. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, the lineup's looking exactly the same as it was this season. We might have to change some of our subs because, we've had some really, really strong subs this season. That's helped in scrims to have those people on demand if we need them. But, people like that, they're going to want to look for teams, some of them. But for our first lineup, I think it's going to stay pretty much exactly the same.
Marvellous. So I think we've given you enough time to boost your ego. Siege for today. So we're going to move on to Quintosh, one of the leaders of Chess Club. Quintosh, so you missed out on equaling SNSD record of 3 Premiership titles. I just really want to know what went wrong in the match, really, because, I mean, you did not look like the team that was dominating the season the entire way through.
Yeah, well, there's a bunch of things that went wrong, like up until the match, obviously. I don't really want to blame the admins, and we shouldn't really blame the admins, but twisting the schedule around and around, it really made us get tilted.
Enough, I was going to ask how much of an effect that had on the team, so you might as well go into it. This is the time.
Well, obviously it messed us up. Like, we were going to have to find 2 mercs, one for Scissors and one for Diox, but Diox bailed on the trip he was going to go with Scissors. And so we only had to find the merc for Scissors, but obviously there's no one who can play his kind of style. Like, not even Steve or anyone else, so we eventually got Ascendery, who hasn't played TF2 in ages, and he was kinda, like, out of practice,
Yeah.
We were gonna get Fairy at the start, but Beep denied us using him, because off-season there's barely any team scrimming. I think it was only Stacked and Wasp and a couple UGC teams. So whenever we scrimmed Stacked, Beep told us he doesn't want to let us use Ferry because he's rebuilding the team and he needs him on his roster because he doesn't have any trials. So, like, half a week or a week before, we had to find someone else to replace Ferry. So we were kind of using him in a couple of scrims, and we were using a few mercs because we were still counting on him. But then at some point we just decided that we had to find someone else to fit his place, and that obviously put us off as well. But other than that, I can't really blame the admins really. Kind of had something to do with people going way too easy on strong opinions, and I told them they were a much better team. They look over their demos like each and every one of them do. They sit together and mumble and do that stuff all day, every day. So obviously more keen, and people just thought that we could go easy on them and still win because lol, what they're like coming from high, and there's no way they can win Prem.
Well,
So there was a couple of people that barely ever turned up to scrims. I had to find mercs for like every single game the past 2 weeks before the finals, and we were just struggling to find players. Like we would always play with huge downgrades on classes, and we would always play with a couple more mercs, like 3 or 4 even in most scrims. And obviously made us get tilted in the finals. So you have another couple players who have never played the class before in a big game like a grand final. Talking about Lazy Bear and Husky here, they're like kind of inexperienced. Husky in the way that he's never played Prem, and Lazy that he's never played Medic before. Obviously solid. He's only recently switched to Sniper. He wasn't that experienced as well. So
Solid's won Prem before. He's got some experience, but
yeah, but not experience on Sniper. So that's what I'm talking about. Some people, when they start losing, they start blaming themselves. They lose motivation, and that's what happened on the first map on Steel. We kind of came back, but on the second map we just got way too tilted, and we just couldn't keep it up anymore on the third map. And it just, I don't know.
yeah, you do make some interesting points about the schedule. I'm not talking about how it was delayed and lasted 4 weeks, but that does have an impact on the team. I remember in season 5 when we came first seed, there was like 3 weeks between you had to play the final, which we practice in for that, because you can't practice against the other teams in the playoffs that often. It's very difficult, but generally that's your own fault anyway if you struggle to get players together. And I think It's All Good had the same problem in season 6. Joe remembers, I think, in that time. So it can have an effect. So would you say you want to see a shorter playoff next season?
Say again?
Would you say you want to see a shorter playoff next season?
It's kind of difficult because when you have shorter playoffs, like the Sixers schedule have all the playoffs on the same day, then you can't really play payload best of 3, and payload best of 1 is really AIDS, and a lot of stupid stuff can happen in a round of payload, and it's just unfair to whatever team loses on the best of 1 in payload. But keeping it to like a weekend maybe, or like Monday, Wednesday, Sunday, that would be better, because there's like no team streaming off season, and we got kind of lucky with Stacked still screaming for UGC, because he still had to play the relegation match and he's rebuilding his team for UGC. But if it wasn't for them, then we would have gotten no scrims, and something like that would hurt us a lot more than strong opinions, because as I said, they're way more keen than we were. They were looking over the demos, they were looking into their mistakes, so there was no mistakes for us to be found in scrims against Stacked, rebuilding their team. Like, it was basically mixed teams, and yeah, we also had to play with a bunch of mercs, so it wasn't really decent practice. But keeping the schedule shorter, within like the playoffs within a week, it would kind of keep up the pace from the regular season.
Yeah, I suppose I'd kind of agree about shorter playoffs, although I guess Strong Opinions had to play against the same teams, so I guess it's about how you play on the day. Just one more question for you, Jess, or Quintosh, about the team. Are you going to be coming back next season? Do you have that prize of 3 titles equaling the SNSD record? in your
Well,
eyes?
I'm not coming back to chess. Like I already left like straight after the match. I just put way too much effort into the team, just to get rewarded with the attitude that the players gave me in the couple of weeks before the finals. It was just so annoying and so toxic, kind of. It just put me off so much. Like, I'm not saying I hate the players, but seriously, that was some shit attitude. And with those players on the team, I don't really want to put a team together next season, especially since Solid, he uninstalled TF2 straight after the match.
It's an unfortunate reaction. Do you think
Has
Chess will
doesn't-
be back then?
Yeah, as good as I know Kazul, he's gonna try and rebuild the team. I don't know about Scissors. Like, he has the same opinion as me. Like, players were just toxic throughout the season, expecting him to do his leader job, which often didn't like actually have to do something with his leader job. And yeah,
I guess it's
Kazul
easy
is
when
maybe
winning.
going to try and
Sorry.
rebuild the team. Kazul is maybe going to try and rebuild the team. If Scissors doesn't want to, then it's not going to happen, I think.
Okay. Well, I guess it's easy when you're winning, but when you're not, it gets harder. I know that feeling. CeeJaey, I'm gonna pass it over to you to ask away some questions. Do you wanna just start with some of the other people on the panel? Maybe Joe. Or
Yeah,
Clef?
I think we've heard enough of your voice, Hildreth.
Yeah, I
I'm not
think
going to ask you
everyone
questions
has.
till later. Let's move on to Joe, because he's why we're all here. Everyone wants to hear about Joe. We
Pretty
can't
much.
see Joe, so Joe, you're gonna have to talk. You have to
Yeah,
talk to
sure.
us. You guys kind of, excluding strong opinions, which we had a lot of changes to our roster, but you guys have pretty much been the shock of the season. In the pre-season show, people talked about strong opinions maybe challenging for playoffs. So the fact that we got there wasn't that big of a surprise. But you guys, like, almost universally, people on the panel thought you guys were going to be at the bottom, challenging against Unpoppable to get relegated. But you made it fourth, which, resulted in being playoffs, beating out teams like Fair Enough. Are you surprised that you were able to do that? Or, did you expect, was that kind of your target throughout the season?
Yeah, well, we wanted to make playoffs. I told my team at the start of the season, like when we were all together, our first official, we're going to make playoffs, 100%, no matter what. So we did. Like, that's what I wanted. I wanted us to go further. We should have beat High Panda. Like, we just played so sloppy in that game. Like, High Panda weren't good at all. So we should have beaten them, like, pretty easily. But we didn't. We just did so much mistakes. So it was like, I was just so disappointed how we played in that game. But whatever. They all left me, so I have to rebuild a team again.
I mean,
So-
that I was going to come on to that. Like, you've changed your roster a lot. Ever since the team's kind of been about. Starting off round in Div 2 and working your way up through high. Each season you do have like these big changes. Which kind of players this season do you think that you brought in made the big difference that enabled you to get into that fourth place spot?
More the fact that like Mentalex or Menti, whatever you want to call him, on Soldier, he was just like the best soldier I've ever played with. Like this season, most of the seasons I played with. Same with Chopper. Like the 4 seasons I played with him. This was his best season by far. He would just get picks all the time. Like when we needed them, when we were going in, he would just like always just coordinate with me. He's like the best spy like in the game. Like Toaster's got the best aim, but I feel like Chopper, when he's with the right team, he can do a lot more. But it was the same with Milchman as well. We give Milchman the chance. He's become probably maybe the third best sniper in Prem, I would say. Maybe better. Like he like trashed most snipers, I gotta say. But that was like it. Like it was only Menti and Chopper and Milchman like changed the game for us. Like when we were playing this season.
Yeah, I mean, I can attest to his backstabbing abilities. One of the spies that always he always seems to be in the right place at the right time. Kind of the fact that a lot of your players, excluding yourself, most of your players, I think maybe all of them, I'm not sure, had never played Prem before. Kind of, how do you respond to sort of the criticism that you hear on the forums and people always in Twitch chat, things like that, saying that the skill ceiling of Highlander's gone down, and the fact that you guys got fourth is a testament to that. Like, do you agree with that, or do you just think you guys played through your skin and managed to, you got there through merit?
I think we just played. It's not the fact that I would say some of the skills went down, but I feel like this season proved everything. Like most of the teams were really good. It was always close, all the time.
So you talked about changing, everyone's left you. I'm sure Layla's not left you, Joe. I'm sure she's still there.
Yeah.
What's the story for next season? Because there's been a lot of rumors about you guys. You staying in Prem? Are you going to be playing in Prem? Or, where are you going? What kind of lineup are you expecting at the moment? What's going to be happening for season 10?
I wanted to. We got people. Most people don't like playing with us, so I need to try and think. Do I want to get new people again? I just want a team that wants to play. Not all the time have to change people all the time. It just gets on my nerves. People just don't want to play. It's the same with this season. People, everyone in my team just showed up for officials. They didn't care about scrims. That's when we shined. I just wanted to play with a team all the time. It was just wants to play officials, and that's it. I always want my team to always just go for gold, go for the win, all the time. I just don't like being that person who's just whatever about it. It's annoying that I have to get 7 people again, but I think we'll probably. If I get the right people, we'll go Prem. If I don't get the right people, we'll just play in a lower division and get back up to the rank in where we were. I want to get better than 4th, so if I can get 3rd, that's fine.
So what you're saying is you're looking for people with passion that are going to stick it out for the long term, not just one season wonders. Okay, that sounds good. So we'll have to see. We'll talk about it on the preseason show whether Experiment will be back for Prem. We're going to move on to the team that just about missed out. And one of their sort of more recent additions to the roster, which was Skyro. Skyro, I know kind of you've not been in the Fair Enough team for that long, but seeing as they've been around since season 6 in Prem, so other than High Panda, one of the longest standing teams, would you say based on the makeup of this season, was not making playoffs an underachievement?
I think loss to the Experiment on mainly Steel was just a disappointment to all of us. But aside from that, considering it's my first season in Prem, I wasn't really too expectant of anything. I just wanted to play and see where I could get. So I can't really speak for the rest of the team because I haven't asked them, but I have a season in Prem under my belt and I'm satisfied.
Okay. So talking about that, you've got a season. Do you think you personally played well enough this season? Do you think, for your first season, for your debut season, you got a bit of experience? Do you think that you played to the best of your ability? And was there anyone on the team that you felt didn't quite meet up to those standards, and was perhaps the reason the team didn't quite reach that playoff spot?
I think especially towards the end of the season, most of our players were firing on all cylinders, especially Adiski, and the Viaduct game against High Panda was just ridiculous. As for myself, I'm not really sure. There's always stuff to improve on. I felt like I was dying too much. But in general, I felt like I did okay for my first season in Prem. Supportive Pyro more than a DM Pyro, so wasn't really expecting too much anyway.
There was there was a lot of talk with the you gotta whisper it just in case you don't want it to kill Highlander. The Overwatch, when that came out, right? There was a lot of talk about the Fair Enough roster and the fact that they managed to get passes, and a lot of the team were playing. I know, leading up to our official against you, there was a lot of talk of you guys playing a lot of Overwatch. Do you feel that lack of practice maybe cost you in certain games? Do you think, if you maybe a few more scrims, a few more sessions, you would have picked up a few more points here and there?
I wouldn't say so. I didn't really notice the lack of practice from the rest of the team because we were still playing on our scrim days and most of our roster was there most of the time. And as for Overwatch, I didn't join the team at the start of the season, so I didn't get a pass of my own, and neither did CeeJaey, so yeah. It wasn't everyone who was always playing.
Okay, I mean, you talked about Adiski earlier, especially on that game against Highlander. And a lot of people, he was nominated for Demo of the Season, nominated for Debut of the Season. A lot of people were pinpointing him as a big player for Fair Enough. Having this was his first season in Prem. Do you is he sticking around? I mean, I personally know, but I want to hear from you. Do you have any kind of idea of the roster shape up for season 10? Who's sticking around, who may be moving on?
Diski's actually the one leading the charge for the new FE roster. Pretty much 50-60% of the old roster is also sticking around, like Vidox and stuff like this. I'm not entirely sure if I'm gonna make it in, but I'm pretty confident that I can.
Okay, so we're basically going to be seeing the Fair Enough flag, but a lot of different names led under Icky.
Pretty much like every season, there's been pretty big shakeups in the FE roster. If you look back at different ETF2L seasons, like this season is no different, and the previous season wasn't either. They even had to switch Pyros mid-season this time. This is actually one of the lesser shakeups, I would say, because pretty much all of the old combo is still sticking around, so if anything, this is the biggest remainder of the FE flag that has been around for a while.
Okay, it'll be interesting to see what names we appear on the team sheet for Season 10, so thank you, Skyro. I'm going to come back, I'm going to pop back to Hildreth. He's been quiet for far too long now, and I can almost hear the itching. He wants to get back into the game, Hildreth. Hi Panda, longest team in Prem. You guys have been playing in Prem since Season 5. The longest, other than that, are Fair Enough. Stacked, not anymore, and Chess have been in since Season 6. But one thing you guys can lay claim to, at least, is that in every season you've played, you have finished in the top 3. This season you finished 3rd. Do you see that as an achievement, or did you have much higher aspirations at the start of the season? I mean, what are your expectations, and have you really met them?
I think every season we try to win. Like always, we always sell out to make a winning roster. If we come second, it's disappointing for us. I guess coming in top 3 every season is a good achievement. At the same time, it's been a very disappointing season for us. We did have to shift our roster. It wasn't working with Sprayer on medic, so we did have to shift our roster a little bit. We tried the Mookie medic when Zoob said he was available to play soldier again. Mookie didn't have the best medic experience, but we had a bit more fun, and he did heal Ast, so Ast was happy, and I guess we're just trying to keep Ast happy. That's our season. Unfortunately, we couldn't beat you guys, but you were better, so no complaints.
Okay, I mean, you talked about Zoob there. From last season, there were a lot of changes to the roster. Zoob at the start of the season wasn't with you. He was not playing as Mookie on Soldier and Sprayer on Medic. And obviously you lost Steve. Niunen went to the USA. Framello stopped playing. They're all big names who did big things over the past few seasons. And you brought in some people. Ast, obviously quite a notable addition. And Gorston on Pyro. Which of the names of those that I've mentioned, or anyone else, did you think you missed most this season? And who do you think really was the best addition to the team?
We definitely missed Steve. I don't think Gorston will mind me saying that we missed Steve this season. I mean, losing Zoob at the start and Problem, very, very big because just their impact that they would have on the team. But I felt like getting Mook and Tracker were very, very good replacements. We still had some very strong players, but Gorston's first season in Premiership, other than a bit of Merkin, were fair enough. And replacing the best pyro in the game is going to be hard for him. So he'll be back once he gets back into it. He's away for now, I think. But we'll start practicing again. Gorston's been improving, so yeah. And pyro's a worthless class anyway. Nobody gives a crap about that. We'll just do what Chess Club did and have like scissors on pyro and win. So it doesn't matter.
You talked about Sprayer moving to should we say not main, and Mookie moving to medic, and you kind of talked about that a little bit. And also another change was Polk started the season with you guys, and Kunai came in to she was backup from what I understood, and then she pretty much mained for the rest of the season. So you had some big changes in your combo, and with Zoop coming back, were those changes, do you think, for the positive, or did it kind of disrupt your practice?
Well, yeah, changing the combo, it kind of does disrupt your practice overall, but in general, we just have to find something that works well. What we've been doing all season wasn't working. With Kunai doesn't struggle with 240 ping like Polk does, getting face stabbed all the time. So I think it's going to be quite good this season, next season for Kunai. And we just need to find either a medic or a demo man. One of the two I might go to medic, and we'll be able to practice with our new combo, make it work hopefully. Just need to decide whether or not we kick Mookie or keep him.
Should kick him.
It's tempting just because of the way he's shit talking in chat. I feel like I should kick him just for being Mookie, but we probably won't have anyone else to play soldier, so I might just keep him to stop him from spending all of his time watching anime.
I was going to say, you've already touched on it a little bit. If you guys come back next season for season 10, big double figures, you guys will have been, if you participate in season 10, that'll be your 6th season as a team, which will actually match what SNSD did. Admittedly, their 6th season was under the name JoeNUFC, but they were pretty much the same team. So you'll actually match most seasons in Prem if you do that. So by the sound of it, you're coming back for next season. Do you have a lineup in mind? I mean, you moving to medic, apparently that's something that's mentioned every off season. Or do you have any names on a little list, little Hildreth book somewhere that you're planning to scoop up, or is it all a bit early days yet?
We'll have to see. Tracker wasn't quite sure whether he could play this season, so I've already gone and secured myself Slaney to snipe, but then Tracker came back to me and said I might be able to play this season, so that's great. I've got 2 of the best snipers in Europe ready to go. So we'll have to work that one out. Other than that, Zoob's he got fed up of Highlander, so he's going to be off. So we just need to get someone on soldier. Probably the guy that's already been on our team as medic. So hopefully Sprayer can do well for us on soldier. That was a joke.
I didn't want to laugh just in case, but okay.
No, I think we'll probably get Mookie on soldier again because nobody else. No, we love Mookie. Maybe we'll see if Kissa will come back to medic, or we'll trial some other new players, and we'll go from there. Yeah, I'm bored of talking about my team. Everyone else is going to come back, obviously, including Nast, which is really good for us.
You can get Azur on medic.
Azur. Oh, could you imagine that? I think Mookie would actually kill himself with so many Brits in Mumble.
I was told at the start of the season there is a limit to the amount of Brits you should have in a team. There is a threshold, so yeah, warning signs. But we're going to move on from Hildreth now. We're going to come last but not least to Klefsas, one of the leaders of Wasp. And you guys finished 6th this season, which, to be fair, I mean, you guys finished 5th last season. There was a lot of roster changes, and not getting relegated based on your early results isn't too bad. You beating out Stacked in the final game of the season to make sure you didn't have to play that relegation playoff. But what did you see as kind of the difference from last season? Like, why didn't you kind of reach the heights you did in season 8?
The main reason is a lot of roster changes. We couldn't make a stable roster till end of the season, actually. And we missed a lot of players right now, so the whole season it was like a disaster with people who don't want to play, and I just don't know why we finished in Prem, but I'm very glad that we beat Stacked. Only 1 win, but a lot of match very important for us. Yeah, but main reason is roster problems.
Okay, I mean there was I've got something written down here. This is Hildreth's inside info, and apparently there's criticism from the community. A lot of changes. Kind of, you guys started off with a Russian flag, and you had a lot of Russian players, and that seemed to change. And after the Nations Cup, where Ukraine obviously did pretty well, It seems the team has kind of moved towards a Ukrainian kind of base. Do you see that as an issue in the team, or was it just kind of a change of personnel?
It's just like it's a joke, nothing more. Flag doesn't mean anything. We changed our roster. Like in our new roster after Nations Cup, there was a lot of Ukrainian players, yeah, and our old team leader Adios, he went inactive, and he told me to change flag just because he's from Ukraine and he's sick of Russian flags in his team. That's all. Nothing serious about this.
Okay, no drama then, no drama. So I'm looking towards season 10. Are you guys going to come back? I know you're playing UGC this season. Do you have kind of plans on sort of settling a roster now? Do you have a kind of a team of 9 in mind? And do you think you guys will be able to reach the playoffs at all? Do you think a top 4 finish will be possible?
It's a very hard question because we in CS community there are a lack of players who can and want to play Highlander in Prem. So actually we have only, like, if you want to count, we have only 1 pyro and 1 heavy, maybe 1 spy and NG who can play Highlander on premium level, and we have like 2 or 3 soldiers, scouts, and MLNs who can and want, but because of people like relationships, someone don't want to play with someone, and that's why we can't make a stable, strong roster to play in Prem and make good results. So I can't really say what we're gonna do. We have pretty weak roster right now, which play in UGC, but I think we're gonna try to make something strong and to show good results on next season. But still, roster problem and problem with people who wanna play Highlander in CS is pretty sharp. We just don't have people to play with. So I don't know.
Okay, well, it sounds promising. Starting a few months ahead of time should be good, and it sounds like Fair Enough and Experiment are doing the same. So some strong rosters in proposition for season 10. But that's enough talking now. I know people are hungry. They're hungry for awards. They want to know who's won. They want to see who the best are on all of the classes for this season. So what we're going to do, we're going to start off with all of the classes, go from Scout through to Spy, talk about Prem debut, we'll do Caster of the season, we'll do MVP as well as the Piece de Resistance, and obviously have a little discussion, see if we agree, disagree on each of the classes. Maybe a little bit of shit talk if anyone's getting a bit bold. Anyone say, so-and-so does not deserve that. Yeah, always. That's good. Get the toxic Brit out of you there, Hildreth. Come on, let's do it. So we're going to start off with Scout, and there was 4 people up for the vote. Basically, what I'm going to do for the awards is start off with who finished in 3rd place, do the percentages, and then move up 2nd to 1st. So we'll start off with Scout, and 600 votes, which was actually quite a lot. I think it was the most out of all of the polls. So in 3rd place, with 27% of the vote, was Thalash from Strong Opinions.
What the fuck?
In 2nd place, with 31% of the vote, was Atomic from Chess Club.
What?
And in 1st place, with 32% of the vote, there was only 8 votes in it, is Ast from Highlander. So I had a loud voice there, Quintosh. What do you think about that? How do you feel?
I thought it was gonna be pretty close between Atomic and Thalash, but Ast on the top. I strongly disagree. Honestly, Atomic, he's obviously playing for my team. He has a huge impact on the team. Like, he can go insane in a big game, like a grand final. Like, he would just go all vocal and start calling and sort of main call the team. I think he would have deserved it. I don't know about Ast. He's kind of new and he didn't stand out the way Atomic and Thalash did.
Well, I actually kind of agree with Quintosh. I think Atomic's probably been one of the MVPs of the season. But Ast is a really big part of our team. He's a big fragger. he has had a good season. He has stood out on our team, but that's probably because he's out fragging the rest of our team because we really underperformed. I think overall, Atomic was a bit more valuable, just in terms of what he did for the team. Like the game against us, he made some big plays. So I could see, why Atomic could win Scout of the Season, but at the same time, he's a big player, so he's I think he deserves this award more than Lazy Bear ever did. Let's put it that way. Real talk right now.
I mean, I suppose I've got to throw in Singh is one of my players there as well. And I don't know, I mean, I agree. I think Ast is a beast at DM, but when it comes to sort of what Atomic does for Chess Club, you can't sort of ignore him. He just does a lot. And when it comes to Thalash, I mean, I don't have to worry about him. If he's near me, I'll give him a buff. He doesn't get that many heals. He just does his thing, and he's just really, really good. He's smart. He's a smart player, and he can go off, and our flank is ever the stronger because of it. So, I mean, Joe and Klefsas and Skyro, you guys have played against these guys. I mean, who did you vote for? We'll start with Joe, and then we'll go down.
Yeah, sure. I voted for Thalash. Like, I thought he was probably the best scout. Like, he was so much better than any other scout. Like Ast, when I played against Ast, I didn't think anything of him. Like, if you give Scout loads of heals, then yeah, that's what he's going to do. He's going to get loads of frags. Like, that's what they did to him. Just give him loads of heals. Doesn't make him a good scout. Like, it's whatever. He should just do his own thing. Like, I thought Thalash was so much better. He could just go when we played against Strong Opinions most of the time. He would just go and do whatever he wants. Go behind, play with Raptor all the time. And just did whatever he wanted. Would just go in and just make loads of space for Strong Opinions. That's what I think of their flank. Is Thalash is just a big part of Strong Opinions flank. He just does whatever. He does great things. That's why Strong Opinions won over Chess. It's they all just good together.
Okay, Klefsas, do you have who did you vote for Scout?
I voted for Ast. My teammates hate him. I don't know actually why, but they're talking a lot of him and they saying that he is very good scout. Making a lot of troubles. Yeah, like it. I don't know. I think all scouts are good. In Prem, scout is not such a playmaker. He just need to deal big damage, and if he can, it means that he's good scout, no matter how much heal he have. Yes.
Okay, Skyro, what were your thoughts on Scout?
I didn't actually get to play much with Thalash or the other guy whose name I forgot. I only actually got to play against Ast in the official, and I didn't notice that he performed very well there. He pretty much trashed the whole team on Viaduct. I don't remember Gollywash because I erased that from my memory, but because I don't have any experience with the other scouts, I voted for Ast.
Fair enough. I mean, no pun intended there. So there we go. Just to recap, in third place was Thalash, second Atomic, and first Ast. So Ast is your Scout of the Season. We'll move on to Soldier now. And once again, we'll start from third place. So in third place with 26.98% of the vote was Raptor from Strong Opinions. In second place is Ubers with 27% of the vote, just ahead from Chess Club, and winning with 37.5% of the vote is Zoob. Fire away, boys. Fire away. Who wants to take this one first?
Can I just can you just read the fourth place one, please?
Fourth place with 44 votes was Mookie.
44 votes. Is that it? Oh wow!
The entire Weeaboo community.
He's such a good soldier.
Commiserations, Mookie. But the Zoob man has bested you. I don't know, Zoob wasn't in our team for very long, but everyone knows Zoob. He's a big name in the community. He did play well for us, but these awards, there's always an element of popularity about them. And if you want consistency over the season, it was probably Ubers. And Raptor, they were very close between them. Ubers just about edged up, I think. That's my opinion, but well done, Z-Man.
Yeah,
no longer second. He probably deserved a Soldier Award in his previous seasons and didn't get it, so good for him.
I agree that he deserves an award, but I think this season, I Raptor for me, like obviously he plays on my team, so I'm going to be a little bit biased, but he does so much for us that I honestly thought he was better, and I honestly think the fact that he only got sort of less than 1% higher. Uber's got less than 1% higher than him. I think it was that close. There's only 4 votes in it between players. I honestly think those two were the best soldiers in Highlander. Like Uber's just in the final, just on top of my face all the time. And it's not just that, it's like the coordination he has with his team, that he jumps in at just the right time. I can't speak for Raptor playing against him, but I know he does a lot for us. He deals out damage and gets the kills, but Uber's as well. So, I mean, yeah, I would say, Raptor or Uber's, for me, would be my votes. But I don't know what everyone else thinks. Quintosh, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Hildreth. Like, I think this hasn't been Zoop's best season, and I think Uber should have got it.
Yeah, same. I thought Uber should get the vote. Like, so much more better than Zoob. In most of
Klefsas?
I voted for Raptor because he picked me a lot.
Skyro, who did you have the most trouble reflecting against?
Definitely Raptor. Not just reflecting though, it was just he was everywhere all the time, and it was tough to deal with that presence on the flank.
Okay, so we'll move on to Pyro. So just to recap, guys, 3rd place was Raptor, 2nd place Ubers, and 1st place was Zoob. So Zoob is your soldier of the season for Highlander. On to the highest skilled class of the game is Pyro. And there was actually a lot of people in this vote, but we'll just go for the top 3. So in 3rd place position was Gorston from Highlander with 9% of the vote. In 2nd place is Scissors from Chess Club with 14.5% of the vote. And way out in 1st is, of course, Steve from Strong Opinions with 57.6% of the vote. Do we need to talk about it, or is anyone ready?
Was there ever a need at all?
I thought Gorston should win. The old man deserves it. That's it. That's all.
Teaming
Just
of
Gorston.
memes.
Yep.
Klefsas,
Which chat is right?
Klefsas, you're being quiet there. Do you think Steve should have won it?
No, I think they both good pyros, and I voted for Crow, and that's all.
Okay, Crow finished in 4th. She was only 4 votes behind Gorston, actually, in 4th place. So I mean, Skyro, you're a pyro. Do you,
Yes.
what are your thoughts on your fellow high-skilled pyro mains?
I don't know, Steve distracts the most out of pretty much all the pyros. On the front line, he doesn't have quite as much presence as Scissors does, but he just has more impact in the numbers, it seems. Other than that, I haven't played against any of them all that much at all, so can't really say anything.
I just gotta say, CeeJaey, this is 5 awards in a row for Steve. And I think Scissors has improved a lot more over the seasons. He's changed his style a lot, probably just copy Steve a little bit. Who knows? But Scissors has improved. And I think it was quite closer than it has been. But Steve is still clearly the best pyro to have picked up the game of TF2. And this is coming from someone who's played against all the best American ones.
So like in EU Highlander, it's like Steve's like the only good pyro. That's why he gets the award all the time.
But I've played against people like Satan and Hewitt, and he brings much more than they do to your team. He's just a class above everyone else. He's taken pyro to another level. To the point where I actually respected it as a class. Before I just laughed basically and just thought, I suppose we should recruit a pyro because I have to have one. So I picked this guy up, Steve, and then he's just amazing. Yeah, but he's still a dickhead for leaving. Fuck you, Steve.
We'll move on to heavy now. Again, another high skill class, guys. So there was a lot of people. It was actually very, very close for the 3rd spot. So I'm going to bring in 4th spot just to say Kunai came in with 4th with 20.1% of the vote. But
wait,
in
wait,
3rd,
CeeJaey doesn't Demo come before heavy?
Yeah.
Demo does come before heavy. I'm glad you spotted that, Hildreth. I was going to skip it.
Question,
So
can
many,
you count?
I can't count. I swear I'm not a teacher. So coming
Well,
on to onto demo, in third place with 20.5% of the vote is Adiski from Fair Enough. In second place, this is really close. It's 2% between third and first, by the way. So in second place, with 21.9% of the vote, is Hildreth. Excuse me. And in first place, taking away demo of the season, with 22.97% of the vote, only 6 above Hildreth, is Quintosh from Chess Club. So
Thank you very
Quintosh,
much.
congratulations. Do you feel you deserve this award?
Of course I did. I put a hell lot of effort into this game.
Okay, let me play with your team, okay? We'll see.
Aye.
We're just surrounded by MMAs at the moment. We got so Hildreth, you were in second. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't deserve to be in the top 3 this season. It's by far my worst season. I've been very out of practice and I'm underperforming for about 2 seasons. Quintosh, Adiski and Joe were both above me. But there you go, I guess. Like with the Zoo vote, it's big name. You get the votes, I guess. I definitely didn't spend all evening whipping votes at all. No. If you had to give my opinion who the best was, it's really, really difficult because Adiski, JoeNUFC and Quintosh did so much. Quintosh plays his own style with chess. He's got very good style where he takes less heals and he's aggressive. He has a good team around him, obviously, but he's one of the solid bases in the team. Just because he's on the best team doesn't mean take anything away from his performances. Whilst Adiski and Joe are on worse teams, but they do so much for that team. They're very, very good top players. If you had to make me choose one, I'd probably be a little biased and go for my boy Joe, Team England.
Joe, you were down in
Quintosh
fourth. You just missed out.
Yeah, no, man. What we?
I mean, this was really close. I mean, Joe, you had 18%, and Adiski had 20.5%. Hildreth 21, Quintosh 22. So I mean, you were pretty close. There was only 28 votes between you and first. I mean, how do you feel about it? I mean, you must be gutted, but you know, how do you feel? How you shaped up compared to the other demos?
don't know. I had a worse team, so that's what it is.
XD.
Put me on a better team.
I mean, the offer's open, though.
Alright, sure, why not? Nah, it's like I felt like Didsky was like so much better than every other demo, like win this season. So, but what can he do? I guess just let Didsky have a spot in a top team and probably just do so much more than most demos.
The offer's also open there. Just saying.
True.
Klefsas, how did you feel playing against these demos? Which one caused you the most problems as a medic?
I voted for Quintosh because he did a lot of nice moves. I remember. I can say what exactly because I have a bad memory, but feels of dominating from their side because of demo was with me all the time while playing versus chess. And we played very bad on our part versus them. We didn't even get third point in both rounds, so Quintosh, yeah, best demo on the season.
Okay, and Skyro, Adiski finishing in third place. Do you think that was justified? You were hyping him up earlier in the stream. Do you think he deserved that third, or do you think he should be higher?
I think he should be higher. Adiski doesn't just post big numbers and hit big pipes. He also has just an incredible presence in the team. He's involved with pretty much everything, and he's also always talking about how do we win. And aside from that, he's just a really nice lad to play with. Definitely at least second in my opinion.
I've got the only person we haven't mentioned who was in the vote was Korv. He had 16%, so he wasn't too far behind as well. Playing with him, I have to give him a shout. I do think he doesn't stand out because of the way that we play. But in the same way, I think he just does so much. He has to listen to Emilio, Steve, and me yelling all the time. So anyone who can put up with that he's just so chilled out and he just does his job really well. So little shout out to
neutral there. Nice
neutral
there,
neutral. Yeah. I mean, I do think
Korv is the only demo I outplayed this season.
I think he plays very similar to you. in the fact that he doesn't die much. But he just he's very like a support demo, whereas Adiski, Joe, Quintosh, very aggressive. But I agree that Quintosh was probably number one. The fact that he gets the least heals out of all the demos in Prem, looking at the spreadsheet, he got about 20%, but still consistently puts out the damage and gets the frags and the kills. So I think that's a fair enough result. But we'll move on to heavy now for my louds, guys. No classes I've missed out this time.
You're counting, right?
Yeah, I'm counting right. Yeah, we go on to heavy now. So like I was saying before I was reminded, so coming in fourth place, just missing out on third place, was Kunai with 20.1% of the vote. In third place was Husky from Chess Club with 20.8% of the vote. In second place was Premilio Besteves with 22.2% of the vote, meaning winning at 27.97% of the votes was Catman. Klefsas, I'm going to come straight to you, man. Do you agree that Catman is the best heavy? You've played with him, I believe, a couple of times this season with Wasp. You must have played against him a lot. Do you think he is the best heavy in Europe?
I think, yeah, he deserves this award.
Yeah, aim-wise, then sure, but nothing else. That's about it. His aim.
Yeah, but in shooter, aim is pretty important.
Maybe.
Positioning, calling. Does the Russian man say anything? Probably not.
You can have good calls in position, but if you can kill scout in close quarters, you are worthless.
Well, I thought Emilio should win. Like, he was the best heavy this season. So
I kind of agree with Joe. When you play against Emilio, he does give you a lot of problems. Him and Husky, they both sit there and make themselves targets and force you to shoot them, which brings a lot in for the rest of the team. Catman's a little bit different. He's a bit sort of strange, separated from the team. He is very annoying. He does pad stats pretty well. But I think Emilio, Husky bring a lot more to their team. I'd probably think Emilio edged it this season, personally.
Actually, Catman has a feature. He making ambushes with Tomislav, sometimes picking medics.
The Tomislav ambush, I like it. That's how Mookie would play heavy.
I mean, people do say when a heavy comes out of nowhere, it's a Catman play, because I don't know how. I don't know how or why, but he does try to do it for those like ninja plays. I mean, I have to echo what you guys said about Emilio. Like when it comes to DM, I think maybe Husky and Kunai and Pidox was also in the vote. Husky, Catman probably maybe have the better kind of heavy. The fact that Emilio, his is just positioning. He also main calls as well. He gets stabbed a lot, so I don't, things like that. So I mean, I'm surprised Husky is down that low. I mean, Quintosh, I don't know what you think about that. You played with him, in your combo. Do you think he's deserving of a third place?
It's kind of hard to say. I don't know about Catman. I barely ever played against him, so I don't know how well he performs in games. But Husky should have been closer to the top at least. He's kind of not a big name, so.
Oh, where was Robban? I forgot to say that. Was he on the list?
I don't think he was, no.
Oh my god. Rip Robban.
I do want to say that there is a reason why Chess Club and Strong Opinions came first and second. That's because they do have the best players in a lot of positions. Maybe a player like Catman could potentially play in a better team, I don't know, but if you're playing in a team that's coming first and second, you're probably one of the best players in your classes. That's just my thinking.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Fair enough. That's why you're here.
Gotta have someone who agrees with the public opinion.
I think you don't need a lot of good players in team to make good performance, because there are a bunch of classes who can make space for team, and a lot of classes which need space, even actually like in Highlander. Because you have a demo man, you have Soli, you have Sniper, and from this season even Spy, and this is the key classes, and these players should be very strong to bring team to victory, because they making a lot of damage. They can do picks like with jumps from behind with headshots, and they making space for classes who need it, like for Pyro, Scout, Heavy, NG to make something.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
Yes.
But people like Emilio kind of do the opposite for strong opinions, because when you have to charge your combo into them and you have that engagement, Emilio's just there, he's tanking damage and using his cover really well, and he's making things really hard for you, so you have to focus him. Meanwhile, other players just get free space to do things. That's kind of what Emilio brings to his team.
I agree. You always have exceptions, but like in a regular match, and a lot of the times the team who have sniper which can kill enemy sniper wins. The team who can't kill enemy sniper on PL maps can't win, because they just can't move on. The team who can't out damage enemy demo man can't win. Like the team who losing medics because of slowly jumping and spy headshots losing. So that's all. And in the other side, yeah, of course you can have scout with which can make a lot of performance, but and NG may be a pyro, but it's all flank classes. And in flank you have your flank, and if it lose, that's another problem. That's problem of your position, because combo should support weak flank, like with demo man, if you know that you have such a problem. But in Prem, I think players are like all strong, and even if your flank is not make a lot of damage and in-game performance, he can hold enemy flank, so he should.
Was Pedox in the vote?
Yeah.
Pidox was, yeah, he finished in 5th with 8.9%.
That's pretty undeserved as well. He's like, I think it was season 6 when he played on Highlander. He didn't have his best season there, but I think like if he plays on a good team, he can stand out again. He's a good player. We got him to Merc a couple times. He's really good.
Yeah, I agree.
9 is underwhelming as well. I thought he was definitely one of the better heavies in Prem.
Yeah.
Didn't realize heavy was going to provoke so much discussion. Must be the Catman, the Catman winning. So Catman, just to someone's edited the spreadsheet. I don't know who's done that. They've copy and pasted demo twice. I'm guessing that's John. But just to reiterate, Husky finished in 3rd. Emilio was 2nd, with Catman from Unpoppable, now the Bureau, finishing in 1st. So Catman is your heavy of the season. We'll move on to Engineer now. And there's 4 people I can see in this vote. Starting off with 3rd place. It's not going to be Quintosh. He didn't play any games of...
I just want to say, CeeJaey, if Doom wins NG of the season, I give up on this game and I'm just gonna leave, walk out the door.
Okay, that's a promise you've made live on stream. So you're gonna have to make it happen. So in 3rd place was Olba with 16.5% of the vote. Played for I believe he's on the roster of Stacked in the end, but also played for Unpoppable and Wasp during the season. I think in 2nd place,
come on,
with
Seal.
26% of the vote was Seal from Strong Opinions.
Later.
Meaning in 1st place with 40.6% of the vote was Doom of High Panda. Hildreth, it was nice having you in TF2. We will see you later. Please post a video of you uninstalling. How do you feel about your NG winning? Do you agree?
He just uninstalled.
He's uninstalled Quintosh. As an unbiased view, as your NG wasn't in here. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree. And Doom, he's kind of like the old Cherry Rendezvous. Like he creates a lot of strats. He's coming up with great ideas, and if that guy gets into your face, you're pretty much dead. Honestly, that guy has fucking insane aim and he's really fucking good. well deserved.
Okay, Klefsas. Alba was in the vote. You played with him. Do you think Doom is better than him and Seal?
I think if you by aim they're really close, but Alba just was unlucky with team. But yeah, Doom it's one of the NGs who make a lot of problems and have CK, he's just a beast. A ruin of whole our flank and letting enemy scouts and soldiers making whatever they want.
Right, and Joe, Cool was there on the vote. He finished in 4th. He only had 3 less votes than Alba in the end. How do you feel about him and the general result of that vote?
Don't know. He did good. Like I was pretty impressed. I thought Doom was like the better NG out of most of them. Like you could tell the difference between like a good NG and then like some shitty NG. So like Doom is just at the top.
Skyro, who did you vote for? Do you agree with the vote?
Doom probably was the one to win it, but I gave my vote to Kali anyway, because he's just a really consistent performer on pretty much any team he plays in, and that really impresses.
We have got Hildreth back now. He's recovered from hearing that news. How do you feel about it, man? Doom, NG of the season.
Fucking retarded scout I have to play sixes with, who chases frags in 1v1s and then he loses and he's like, no, it wasn't a 1v1, it was a 1v2. And then I just have to put my... he was engineer-wise, he was really, really consistent, really good this season. He's one of the best DM in NGs in the league. I think it's a deserved award for him. It's a shame he plays such a pointless class with no role in the game. But Doom is a very talented player. If he just had developed a brain, he could actually be a very good sixes scout as well. But
playing against him as a Highlander scout, you can see his aim is absolutely insane. His DM is great. Seal, obviously playing with him, he does kind of the boring job on our team. Everyone on our team wants to get the kills. So he's the guy that does the boring cleanup job at the back and gets all of the assists. And he's always quite proud of the fact that he doesn't die very much. He's kind of like a Cobbs 2.0. He dies very little and doesn't take very much damage and kind of cleans up anyone who manages to get past our front lines. But yeah, Doom's DM, absolutely insane. Very, very strong NG. So we're moving on to Medic now. And as I am actually in this vote, I'm going to pass over to Hildreth. So, Hildreth, do you want to read out the top 3 from Medic?
Okay, well, are you ready, CeeJaey?
I'm ready.
So we're going to start, top 3. In 3rd place, with 88 votes and just under 15% of the vote, was the one and only Lazy Bear. So unfortunately, no more awards for the most decorated player in history. In 2nd place, with 25.85% of the votes, 152 votes, was CeeJaey. 2nd place, I'm afraid, buddy. And in 1st place, with 212 votes, that's 36%. It's the one and only, the legend, the Potato Master, Admirable. So Admirable is your medic of the season.
Oh my god.
I just want to bring up 5th place, Klefsas, buddy. You just got under 10% of the vote there, 58 votes, so there you go. And Joe, your better half, 78 votes with 13.27% of the vote.
Oh, nice.
So, but yeah, Admirable, the Potato King. How do you feel, CeeJaey? Round up your feelings.
I prepared myself to lose to Layla tonight, so I Admirable's a good medic, but he played 3 games this season, and I think they lost 2 of them. So I don't know. Statistically, I could rant on all day about how amazing I am and how I had only person who dropped less than me was Klefsas, and he finished down in 5th. So it's all rigged against us, Clef, man. I don't know. I think nobody really stood out as a medic this season, so I can't really argue. I would have said that I'm surprised Lazy Bear didn't get as many votes.
I
But
surprised
I'm not
Leila
sure.
didn't.
Yeah,
I think,
I'm surprised Admirable won. I mean, it's kind of
Yeah,
kind
I
of
think
odd.
I think everyone can agree it was pretty much a circle jerk vote on him.
Yeah, true.
I voted CeeJaey. I didn't see Lazy Bear near the top. He's too inexperienced still, but CeeJaey, he's the better medic, not Admirable.
I actually
Thanks,
voted. I actually voted for CeeJaey too. As he probably said, not very many medics stood out this season. To be fair, if we hadn't kicked Sprayer, he would have probably been in there because he had the least deaths, and that's always a good stat for a medic. Even if you are a pussy and don't heal team. So yeah, that's that. Maybe next season. Skeej has had a problem because even though I think Skeej is technically the best medic in terms of ability and dodging and the way he can surf and move about, he has a problem of just not really standing out because he's healing a team that are just around mid-table. So maybe he'll come back next season and get himself a deserved award. But yeah, I went for you, CeeJaey, just because just about edged it.
I appreciate the sentiment, Hildreth. Skyro, you played with Skeej. Skeej, I was surprised Skeej wasn't nominated as well. Like, you know, I make the stats spreadsheet. Obviously, have a peruse over the stats and have a look. And he consistently, like, the only person who, you know, me and Lazy Bear, we had kind of decent healing stats. We were in second and third, but Skeej always like pumping out really high heals. Like, I don't know how he always managed to get really high heals per minute. What's it like playing with him? Like, do you think he should have been in this vote? Do you think he was better than, you know, Admirable or myself or Lazy Bear?
I mean, when I was looking through the votes on the site and I got the medic, I just had to do a double take for like 3 or 4 seconds, and then I realized, where the fuck is Skeej? Why could I vote on this guy? Like, what's happening? You know, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it does surprise me. But Joe, Layla not in the top 3.
I'm very disappointed.
Very disappointed. On a note, do you think she? How would you rate her performance this season? I mean, I know a lot of people give her a lot of shit. Statistically, she didn't drop. You know, percentage wise, she wasn't the worst.
Yeah, true.
So
she
just
did drop a
throwing that out
lot,
there.
but true.
Yeah,
She
wasn't,
did
you know,
okay. She's not the best medic, but and I thought CeeJaey was going to win. Like, you could see he was like the better medic out of most of them. But I didn't think Admirable would win. Couldn't even remember he was in the vote. So.
He barely played any games. It was a bit like Quintosh
Yeah, true.
season. What was it, 6 or 7?
7, I think.
The end of the season. He played 1 match.
2.
2. And Admirable didn't play many games at all. If Skeej was an option, I'd have probably voted for him. But out of the people selected, I went for the big CeeJaey.
I do have to say, me and Layla share a special bond as we both got the highest kills as medics this season. I think we both got 6 kills. So, you know, that's the true mark of skill, I think. So there we go, me and Layla getting those frags. We'll move on to this sniper next, guys. Sniper. So we got some votes here. So I'm just having a look. So 5 people were in the vote. We'll start off at number 3. So with 17.5% of the vote was Solid from Chess Club. In second place with 27.5% of the vote was Tracker from Panda. And with 37.5% of the vote, guys, look out the window because the weather report is cloudy.
Oh,
Nice.
Cloudy from Strong Opinions, Sniper of the season. I'm going to start off with Hildreth this time. Tracker came in second. He was about 50 points off the top there. How would you rate the top 3 there?
I think he won that off the back of his performance in the final, where he really stood out and had a fantastic game. The rest of the season, he was a bit average. Cloudy, he played okay, but consistency, Tracker is probably the best overall over the season. He was one of our best players. But Cloudy's performance in the final, you know, that's what you're here to do, man. It's to win tournaments, turn up in the games that matter. And he did that. And when he played in Team England against Denmark, he didn't play, so we lost. So thank you, Cloudy, for playing good for once when I was playing on your team. I hate you.
Go on to Quintosh. I mean, statistically, Solid was highest KD. I think he topped overall when it came to kills. He only come in third place. He 97 votes to Cloudy. He got 208. I mean, do you think that's a fair representation between those two guys?
Well, I think Cloudy deserved the award. Solid been kind of inconsistent over the season, and obviously it all comes down to how you perform in the finals. And I think Cloudy just went insane in the finals, and Solid just didn't really. He didn't live up to his standards, and yeah, it made a huge difference. I don't want to talk bad about him, but
Just say shit. Do it.
Go on.
okay, so
I know you want to. Nice.
I mean, he was a good player to play with. He was really keen. He was even asking Inso for demos, and he was always looking over his demos. He was really keen, but I think he just choked on the team's performance in the finals.
Well,
I don't want to blame him.
I played with Solid before. He's the sort of player that on his day is amazing, but sometimes he can get a bit salty and make comms a little bit negative when things are going badly for.
He doesn't do that anymore. He just blames himself for playing bad, and then it stacks up, and then he actually plays even worse. It's kind of he's missing that self-confidence when he plays, I think.
I don't know. On Spy, he was one of the most confident players I saw. I guess it was Sniper then.
Klefsas, Stormin was in the vote. It was his kind of debut, and he was somebody that we touched on in the preseason show about a player who's kind of come out of nowhere, and people were kind of wondering how he would do. He only got 2% of the vote, so he didn't actually get that many votes. But how do you feel he stood up against the rest of the snipers, and do you agree with kind of Cloudy being the best?
Yeah, I actually don't want to talk about snipers a lot, but Stormin did very, very well. He didn't. I think this vote it's more about not skill but popularity of snipers. I don't know, but Stormin only with 16 votes. I don't know. Maybe it's not that what he deserves, because he stand pretty well. We didn't had any problems of sniper during our whole season. I mean enemy sniper. He always took it out. So yeah, Cloudy is a great sniper. He deserved first place.
I disagree.
Go on, Quintosh.
I disagree when you say it was a popularity vote. We played against Stormin a couple of times, and he just didn't stand out, and you would always see him at the bottom of the scoreboard. So I don't know which games are you talking about, but it didn't really stand out in any of those games you played against him. And if you look at Cloudy, he's really insane.
I have to agree with Quintosh here.
Okay,
Stormin was just a sniper that I saw on the map every now and then. Compared to Cloudy, that is.
He would hit some insane shots, and Solid and Atomic would be like, "What is this fucking cheater?" And that was about it. He didn't have any special performance throughout the matches or scrims. It was nothing special, honestly.
I told you I don't want to talk about it actually.
Oh.
We'll go on to Joe. Milchman was also in the vote. He finished in fourth with 14.5%. How did you feel? You said earlier you felt he was one of the strongest snipers. Do you think he should have been a little bit higher, or did you think the top three?
Well, I thought he was better than Solid. So, Cloudy. I definitely thought Cloudy was he should have won it. The way he played in the final, you could tell he was the game changer. It's that's how it should be. But yeah, it's just Cloudy.
Yeah, I mean, Cloudy, he gets ripped on a lot in our team, especially by Toast, because they always have kind of headshot competitions. and people were pointing out how throughout the season his med picks were not very high compared to other snipers, but he was getting a lot of kills, and yeah, I agree with you guys. In the final, he really just he stood out, and he was solid throughout the season. Excuse the pun, but definitely in the playoffs, he really he got that confidence, I guess. So we'll move on to the final class vote, which is of course Spy. Now we'll start off with third place. With 23.4% of the vote was Viljak from Fair Enough. In second place with 23.95%, only 3 votes in it between 2 and 3, is Granger Bob from High Panda, meaning in first place with 43% of the vote is Toast from Strong Opinions. Skyro, I'm going to start with you, man. Viljak in third place. How do you feel he performed this season, and do you think Toast is the better gun spy?
I originally just thought that Viljak is a better spy overall. Like, I always tell people that there are primarily 2 spies that I have the most difficulty dealing with, and those are Granger Bob and Viljak. But I don't really mention Toast all that much, so I'm actually pretty surprised, despite all the hype.
Oh, okay. Strong words. Joe, Chupa came down. He picked up 51 votes, just under 10%. You talked about him being one of the top spies, and I said, I felt he performed really well this season. Do you think he's better than the other 3 guys I've mentioned?
I think he's better than Granger Bob. Like, the other 2 are just like gun spies. Like, they're just really annoying to play against. So I feel like it should be Toast, and then Viljak, and then Chopper. But it's whatever. Chopper did good for his season. I don't know. Granger didn't do anything when we played against him, so. It's whatever.
Big Granger. Granger's, I'd say Tube and Toast probably stood out the most this season. Granger Bob's definitely always up there. He's a lot more about. I guess one of his weaknesses this season, he hasn't practiced as much as he normally does, which I think has affected him. But he does come up with the big picks, like when we're winning, it's normally on the back of Granger Bob and Tracker, getting us med picks and that sort of thing. Shutting down Tube was our main focus in this experiment, and it helped us significantly. So I think Toast probably deserves it on the back of his performances. Just on the Ambassador, I hate playing against Ambassador spies. I've always hated it since INSO and Snow days, and I will continue to hate it. Oh, and one more thing, Viljak. I don't think he's had a very good season. Like last season, he was really good. And this season, he just seemed to underperform a little bit. In my personal opinion, I didn't see enough from him, in my opinion.
Yeah, Klefsas, as a fellow medic main, spies are often the scourge of our officials. Which of these guys proved you the most hassle? Was it Toast, Granger, Viljak, Chupa?
Toast. He's very annoying Ambassador spy, and he maybe only spy who carries the game for a team, who making a lot of damage and a lot of troubles and a lot of intention of my pockets going on spies, and it's very bad. So yeah, Toast is pretty cool, and he deserves first place.
Yeah, I agree. I've never I hate playing against Toast. I played against him last season in High, and he's a player that I've never seen a spy get a KAD that high. He's always got a positive KAD and KD, and it's because he doesn't die. And if you've got a dead ringer spy, he's just, I don't know, he hits the shots, but he's not just farming headshots on, silly players. He's in them on key players, and he shuts down players. And when he's regularly in the top 3 fragging, it's for me, it was without a doubt Toast. I think Quintosh. Who do you felt was the most difficult to play against?
Obviously, Toast. Like that meta kind of stepped up from a couple seasons ago with like Snow and Polar INSO solid on spy. Like the whole Ambassador spy thing. They weren't as good with the exception of INSO, but if you basically play against two snipers. Like, you can run around anywhere and you can eat headshots like all over the place. Like, you don't have to run in a sniper. You just sit around on product on the grass where the health pack is, and you still get headshot. And you're like, oh my god, please no! Like, he would hit headshots anywhere on the map, and it was so annoying. I think the issue with Grangerbob is he's playing way too patient. He's getting those picks when you need them, but sometimes it just takes too long to wait for that pick. So it might be more helpful for his team to just play a bit faster. I don't know about Chuba though. He was having quite a few big games, but didn't really stand out in a few others. So he seems kind of inconsistent to me. But he can, if he plays a couple more seasons, maybe next season he can make a bigger name for himself.
Well, you think Granger's better?
I don't know. It's a different style. They play a different style. Chupa's kind of the headshot spy, and he plays
What?
kind
No,
of.
he's not.
Chupa's all about picks. He's all about.
He's just going for the
He plays a
backstabs.
hybrid style. Honestly,
I don't
he
think
used
I've
to
ever
run
seen him with a
ambient
headshot
against
in my
me as
life.
well. Really?
Yeah, he does use Ambi at times. I know. I've played
But he's
against
shit
him.
with it. That's the difference. That's why he goes for stabs. Like, that's why Chopper's so much more better.
Granger's
Granger.
all about the med picks. Really, that's he goes for med picks a lot and tries to change the game. Trooper's just about picks. Picks like Polk used to absolutely hate playing against Trooper because he would just keep killing him or myself. So I know it's a
I know for
different
a
style.
fact that Skeej was not happy with Grangerbob. I can tell you that much.
Like
Yeah,
Hill
I
just
know.
said.
Granger
He's,
shouldn't have been first. I don't know about them. Chupa and Grangerbob having different places in the votes. Kind of hard to say.
Okay, so that's the classes done, guys. We'll just do a little bit of a recap. Scout of the season was Ast from High Panda, Soldier Zoob from High Panda, Pyro of the season is Steve from Strong Opinions, Demo is Quintosh from Chess Club, Heavy was Catman from Unpoppable, Engineer Doom from High Panda, Medic was Admirable from Stacked, Sniper was Cloudy from Strong Opinions, and Spy was Toast, also from Strong Opinions. So we've got 3 more votes to go. That's Prem Debut, Caster, and Best Player. I can bring you Prem Debut, as I wasn't nominated for Prem Debut, so I can talk about it. And there was quite a lot of people in the vote, but once again, we'll just do the top 3. So for this is the best Prem Debut, not having played in Prem before, and having the best first season. So in third place, with 18% of the vote, was Adiski from Fair Enough. In second place, with 23.9% of the vote, was Toast from Strong Opinions. So in first place, 30.8%, yes, was Ast from High Panda. I'm going to hold back my rage and open it up to Hildreth. Ast, you talked about Ast a little bit as Scout. Do you think he was the best Prem debut as well?
It's hard to say, really. He certainly had a very good Premiership debut. I think with players like him and Adiski, they kind of stood out on teams that kind of underperformed this season. So I'd probably give it a Toast on merit, just because he played for the team that won the season. It's Cloudy's Prem debut, so there were so many people with Premiership debuts, by the way, that could have been in here. Like, I think further down the polls, there's Chupa's in there, for example.
Yeah, Cloudy wasn't actually in the vote. So in fourth place was Raptor. Layla came in fifth,
Nice.
and Chupa came in sixth. But I mean, I agree. I'm surprised Cloudy wasn't in there. He definitely, if he's best sniper, he should have probably been in with a shout for debut. Raptor, again, I felt played pretty well. But if I had to, I put my vote on Toast. I mean, it's not just because he was on the winning team, but he does so much on the winning team.
Yeah.
He gets if he can consistently outfrag, people like Thalash and Raptor and Cloudy and Steve, then he's doing something right on Spice. That's where my vote went. I mean, Skyro, Adiski came in third. Again, same as Demo. Do you think he should have been a bit higher up?
I mean, considering the names he was going up against, like Aston Toast, I think Third is pretty respectable.
Okay, Klefsas. Obviously, no one on your team, I don't think, was making their debut, or at least they weren't in the vote. I mean, who do you think stood out for their first season the most out of those guys?
Of course, Toast.
He's the scout, isn't he, Costas? On your team?
Oh, asked. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I actually don't.
You don't think anybody?
I agreed with the vote. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice
Joe,
performance.
do you think your better half should have been higher up than in 5th place? Or, I mean, do you agree with the way things played out?
Yeah, Chopper should have been higher up. Like, don't know. It's first time in Prem. He did really good. I was happy how he played. But Toast should have won. Or did he win? I can't remember. Wasn't really focusing.
No,
No, he came second.
Okay, then it's just more popular. Well, it's not really, but it's like Ash shouldn't win. It's more Toast. Like, he did so much more for strong opinions. You can tell the difference than like Ash ever does. So.
Okay. I was just about to say something. Oh, that was what I was going to say. There's a lot of people here, I think, who had really good seasons. I mean, when you consider on Strong Opinions, 6 of our starting lineup hadn't played in Prem before. And I think High Panda, you guys obviously had Ast, Gorston, people who are making their debuts, and Experiment, you guys pretty much had an entire team who hadn't played in Prem before, and you guys got 4. So I think there was a lot of debuts, I think, that stood out. So yeah, I'm going to go with Toast. I mean, Quintosh, I don't know if you have anything to chip in on that.
I don't know what the whole Ast fuzz is about. Like, he's never been a huge issue to our team, at least. Instead, you look at Toast and it's just so annoying. Like I said it earlier, you always play against 2 snipers. There's always around 80 headshots raining down on you, and it's just so annoying. So I think you should have deserved it.
Well, to defend Ast a little bit, although I do think Toast should have won, he does really stand out on maps like 5CP and Koth. He's one of the big fraggers on our team, which, I mean, that's generally how he plays anyway. In 6s, he's always been about getting a lot of frags. He does play this clean-up scout role a lot, but he's also he's a boss with his DM. So I guess that's why I can see how he won it. But because our team kind of come third. At the end of the day, if a team comes third and the team comes first, the people who come first probably did a little bit more.
Okay, so that was best Prem debut goes to Ast. Moving on to caster this season, and I'm in this one. So once again, I'm going to hand over to Hildreth. Do you want to take it away and let us know who was best at talking this season?
Oh well, I'm not sure who can take that away from you, CeeJaey. But yeah, we had a good season with casters. Lots of different ones, some new people on the list. I'm going to actually read out the top 4. We're going to start off in 4th place with 73 votes. That's 12.81% of the vote. It is none other than Div3 Forever himself, Maxi, my boy. In 3rd place with a little bit more votes, just 14.56% and 83 votes. It's the king of trash talking. It's Bulo. So we come to 1st and 2nd place, CeeJaey. This is very, very close. There's only 6 votes in it. Are you ready?
I was born ready.
Okay, with 204 votes and 35.79% of the vote, we have you, CeeJaey. So that makes Sigafu our caster of the season. 210 votes, 36.84%, and I've got to say, I think it's deserved. But I wanna get your reaction. I want everyone to look at you right now.
No, I mean, I haven't casted as much, so I suppose I just haven't really got into my rhythm. So yeah, Sigafu got the more games. He's a really solid caster. He can do a lot with many people. So yeah, I mean that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Well, I do want to say Sigafu has been very, very consistent caster this season. I mean, he did have that. There was that drama a while back with another casting organisation, and he's come into BlackOut, kind of taking it all into his own. Really, he does bring a very high level of knowledge. Considering he's an engineer main as well. I've played with him before in the Syndicate. He does have a good knowledge of the game, and he's got a good style of casting. He's very professional, so I kind of admire that. He's got this recognition from the community. So congratulations to Sigafu. I'm gonna tell him a little bit later on Steam. But I don't know. What do you guys think, Quintosh?
I haven't been keeping track of the show, so I just voted for CeeJaey because he's a friend and he's a really good caster. I've been watching a couple of casts with him. I mean, I have been casting a couple of games with him. I've been watching a couple of games where he casted, so I just voted for him. Bulo, I don't know about him. I don't like his casting style. So, but if Sigafu has been casting like pretty much most of the games, it's probably deserved.
We've got a lot of newer casters as well that came in. Probably stand out this season. Please tell me if I'm forgetting anybody, John. But Maxi and the Asa combo brought in a lot of casts for us. Some reasonably decent casts as well, and Pidox as well. I thought Pidox was a really good caster this season because he's got some good knowledge. So I'm happy to see those guys in it in the future. But what did you think, Joe?
I voted for Maxi. Like, what a caster, you know? Just the best, man. Top quality. Great
Sounds
banter.
forced to me.
If there's an award
That's
for
not-
reading out the kill feed, yeah.
Yeah, true. It's most casters, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was quite, like Hill just said, it's nice to have so many more because I got into casting because there was like no casters available. And John was like, you know, we were always looking, and that's why I've done so much over the past sort of, God, it's like 12, 18 months. So I suppose like having a lot of exposure got me the last couple of awards, but it's nice to see so many people actually wanting to do it. And that's the thing, is people, you know, wanting to do it and then being available. And it's not just been kind of one game wonders. We've had people consistently doing it. We've had people like Admirable coming back and doing it. And, you know, I've casted with him, with Maxi, with Sigafu, with Bulo. It's really nice to have lots of different people wanting to do it, because then you get the different styles. And yeah, I mean, it's looking good for season 10 to have lots of people on the books. And I was hoping for this season, but it didn't quite happen. But I'm hoping for next season, season 10, that we will have a season where we're able to cover every single game. I have been on John's back non-stop trying to get these double casts happening. But, you know, hopefully for season 10 we're able to do that.
Yeah, I guess we'll need a few more streamers and casters, so you guys know who to contact on Steam after this. I just want to quickly ask Klefsas about casting. There's a Russian casting organisation that does Highlander still. Klefsas, are they still around?
Yeah, I guess. I don't watch TF2 a lot, but I know that Red Brigade cast something and Firefox did some job about in this about casting TF2. So I just don't watch TF2, so I can't answer correctly.
No, that's fine. I guess we do need to shout out the people the multi-language casters, but it is primarily an English casting channel we have here. Skyro, Sigafu, caster of the season. Do you agree?
The thing about Sigafu is that even if he's really good at just shouting really, really loud, it's not like he takes over the entire cast. And aside from his knowledge, he can pretty much make a duo with anyone that he's casting with, and it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, you have CeeJaey and Sigafu. They're like the people who cast action, and you have other people like Pidox or Maxi, and they're more like the guys who analyze the game. And Bulo as well, he sort of just plays hybrid, like he casts action and sometimes he just analyzes the play. So CeeJaey and Sigafu, they can roll with anyone. If you put someone like Clark and me next to each other, then you get a really AIDS game because neither one of us casts action, and the cast will be really quiet.
Just let Clark translate the Russian kill feed.
I mean, yeah, I was quite like looking forward to the season. I'm glad that it's happened this way because at Deutschland we did have different people casting because I was playing at Deutschland and other people were playing that would normally be casting. So me and Quintosh teamed up and in our game off we did a cheeky little cast while the barbecue was going on, and other people did it for during their games off. It was really really nice to have like each game casted by a different combo, and I found that really entertaining to see all the different styles. So yeah, like I said, I'm hopeful for season 10 that we get some more people on the books and some of the people who've been doing it in season 9 continue that. But we'll move on now. We'll wipe away those salty tears from me finishing second. I'm not bothered. I'm not gonna cry myself to sleep. It's all right, guys. So the final, guys, the big one, El Grande, is the MVP, the best player of the season, and I've got 4 people on my list. I'm not sure how many people were in the vote. I'm guessing it was just these 4. So I'm going to include every single person who was on the vote. And we're going to start off with number 4. And unfortunately, is somebody who is present here is JoeN, big JoeNUFC, with 15.7% of the vote. In third place is, with 25% of the vote, is Toast from Strong Opinions. In second place with 28% of the vote is Atomic from Chess Club, meaning Ast has made it a hat-trick with 30% of the vote. He is MVP of the season, Scout, debut, and best player. He's done a Lazy Bear, he's done a Blub, he's done a Shadowburn. Ast is MVP of the season. Guys, what do you think?
I don't know what to say, honestly. I think Atomic would have deserved it. But it's not nice to see the same player winning all the 3 awards every single. It's kind of boring.
Yeah, maybe we should have like a Prem only vote. You see, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But I think Atomic or Toast is really close between them. Toast performed well in the final. Atomic was consistent the entire season. Very big player for Chess Club, probably your best player actually. I would have probably given it to Atomic personally, but Ast he's done a Lazy Bear, done a Blub, done a big Shadowburn. You gotta give him some credit for at least standing out. Getting the frags, carrying the team, making Mookie, playing the top 3 team. These things.
Yeah, I mean, there was, I can't remember who it was, somebody on my team we were having a discussion about, I think Toast actually, and he said that he was going to vote Thalash his best scout. He felt he was scout of the season, but he felt Atomic was, best player because of what he does for his team. Like, he felt, I don't know, he described it really well, but it's the fact that he wasn't the best scout compared to Thalash and Ast, but when it came to what he does for his team, and Quintosh has touched on it about how he kind of sometimes takes over the calls and does a bit of main calling, and yeah, I mean the Atomic and Uber's flank on chess is really really strong, and what Atomic does, I mean he's always got this insane KD and KD all the time. He does so much work, and yeah, I mean for me it would have been between Atomic and Toast. Toast, I just think to do what he does on Spy is a testament to how good of a player he is, but Atomic as well on Scout does so much for chess. He is, when you talk about chess, we always kind of looked at it and it was like, okay, we have to worry about Atomic on the flank. Like that was one of the first things we'd always talk about. So yeah, I mean it's a bit of a surprise for me, but you can't knock Ast. He's done really well this season, and yeah, like you said, he stood out. I mean, Klefsas, what do you feel about that?
I'm really surprised. I expected to see Toast on top of this one, but okay. All players are good, and it's really close challenge actually because of class differences. You can't say that Ast is better than Toast or Atomic because they play in different classes. So
Yeah, very true, very true. Joe, you finished unfortunately in 4th place.
Oh man, again.
Were you hoping that did you think you'd be able to win it, and did you think it would be Ast that would actually win it?
I didn't think I asked. I thought more of Toast, to be fair. I thought he was just outstanding. Like, he's just such a good player, a spy. He's so annoying when I play against him. He's the only person who really annoys me when I play against him, like all the time. Like any other player is just whatever.
I'll tell you who I think deserved a nomination, CeeJaey. Steve Panda. Because I haven't really noticed it, because I played on the same team with him for 4 seasons. It's about what he does, but to have such an impact on the game as a pyro is pretty ridiculous, so I think he deserves at very least a nomination as player of the season. Personally.
If I had to rank the top 3 like MVPs of the season, it would be Toast, Atomic, and Steve. I mean, yeah, I never played with a pyro that does as much as he does, and it's not just pyro stuff. It's like, you know, I'll give him a buff, and if I don't need him around me, he's just not gonna, you know, spy check around me. Like I can do that, or someone else can do that. He'll go off and he'll do stuff, and he'll kill people on the flank, and he'll call with our flank and organize stuff with them. And you know, he gets a lot of kills, and it's not just because he gets heals or he gets ubers. He does stuff. He's such a smart player, and he really makes, like, you know, pyro. He changes it into something that he can actually do a lot of work with. So yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Like he would have been in with a shout. I mean, Skyro, what do you think about possibility of having Steve as one of the MVPs? And of those 4 players that actually were in the vote, who did you have most trouble against?
Of the people that were actually in the vote, I think I can only recall playing against Joe and Ast. But I personally think Atomic should have probably taken it, because as a scout, I felt like Ast was better, but as a player as a whole, Atomic is probably better. And as for the points you made about Steve, I just feel like he's found the perfect hybrid between keeping his players safe and being able to go around and killing stuff, which is difficult. So yeah, nomination definitely, at least.
All right, guys. So we're gonna come up to the end of this. It has been a couple of hours. I know you're all eager to go and maybe play some video games instead of watch us talking about video games. So we'll just have a quick recap on what has come across tonight. The awards. So your team of the season on Scout is Ast, and Soldier is Zoob, on Pyro is Steve, Demo is Quintosh, Heavy is Catman, Engineer Doom, Medic Admirable, Sniper is Cloudy, and Spy is Toast. Debut of the season is Ast, Caster of the season is Sigafu, and player MVP, best player of the season, is also Ast. So Ast walks away tonight with 3 awards, the 4th time that has happened in the history of these award shows. So congratulations to all the winners, commiserations to those who just missed out. Some of the votes were very, very close. A couple of them, there was only 6 votes in it. So yeah, really, really close going on. And we're just going to go down to all the people who've joined us tonight. I just want to say thank you to everyone who's joined us, given our opinion. It's actually been really fun having people chat and talk about stuff. So any shout outs from you guys to the people in the stream? We'll start off with the top, which is actually Quintosh. Do you have any shout outs, man? Oh, no, I've just checked the mumble. Quintosh isn't actually with us right now. So, Hildreth, do you have any shout outs?
Yeah, I've got a few people to shout out. First, I want to shout out Hi Panda. Everyone that played on us this season for, putting up with me, I guess, being salty. Shout out to Kisakala and to Okie Pony. Shout out to you guys for bringing the show, John for the stream. Random shout outs, Codexa, Erica, Polk, Julius Bart, Maxi, Kratos, Digris, I think that's everybody. And Julius part again.
I think Quintosh is back now. Do you have any shout-outs before we leave?
Shout out to Chess. Despite all the problems, it was a great season. Shout out to you guys for bringing the show, doing all the casts. And shout out to Mado, who is rebuilding PremTech. And that's going to be a new Prem team for next season.
Yeah, we're going to be covering that on the preseason show for season 10, whenever that may be in a few months' time. So that's some exciting stuff to look forward to. Joe, do you have anyone you want to shout out to?
Yeah, shout out to the 2 players in Experiment. Shout out to Layla for being okay at Medic. Shout out to Zaphus. Shout out to Gostin for being the only basketball player I met. So. And being black. Guys, he's black, just to let you know.
Team England memes.
Yeah, I know. And that's it. Thank you.
Alright, cheers. And Klefsas, do you have anyone you want to shout out to?
Yeah, and big shout out to the 58 people who watched for me as the best medic of the season. Then a big shout out to everyone who played in Wasp during this season and to all my friends. And big shout out to Luna. And thank you guys for inviting me, it was fun.
You're very welcome. It was a pleasure to have you. And Skyro, do you have anyone you shout out to?
Really big shout out to Effie for letting me play in the season, even if it was only half. And shout out to Clark for letting me be here. And shout out to Condog and the guys at UKIP for being so easy about me skipping a lot of scrims to trial for Effie.
Awesome. And wow, shout out to my team, Strong Opinions. Thanks to them for an amazing season. I've had loads of fun, and to all the teams that we've played against. It's been really fun. We've had some great games. Thank you to Joe. Sorry, not Joe. Joe, no, not Joe. John. Your names are next to each other. Shout out to Joe for being here. No, shout out to all of you guys for being here. Thank you for joining us and taking part in the discussions. It's always nice to have some quality discussions about what's happened during the season. And of course to John in the background doing all the camera work for tonight and production. And to the people who don't always get the plaudits they deserve, people like HiGPS and Arjax in the background who do camera work on the other casts when we're running double casts or when John is it's a little bit lazy. And shout out also to Veet, who sponsored my team but also did a lot of work on the HUD, making it possible for you to view the games in the best quality possible. And shout out to people who've casted. I mean, we touched on it when we were talking about caster of the season. Obviously, there's people who, people like Sigafu who won the caster of the season, but also there's other people who spend their time doing stuff for the casts, and it's not just the time doing the casts, it's the preparation, it's sometimes doing a bit of research on the teams. So people who are willing to spend their time, if you're interested in doing that sort of stuff, you should definitely look John up and see what you can do coming up for season 10. The next time you'll be hearing from us may or may not be UGC finals. I don't know if we're casting that or not, but definitely a pre-season show for season 10. But right now, the last shout out of the night will go to tf2pickup.net. Head there now if you want to do some Highlander pugs. We are out of here. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you for season 10.